This game here, Campbelltown Sports Ground, Western Suburbs behind by 3 tries, but if they can cut out some of those handling errors, they've shown the ability to make a few breaks.
Well, they'll be relying on Jason Taylor, Paul Langmack, probably Kerry Hill, and even David Gillespie to provide something for them. Of course, Warren Ryan, the master of the strike, he's certainly behind the 8 ball at the moment, but they're not completely out of it. If they can score early, they may get back into this match. But Eastern Suburbs certainly in control of proceedings at the moment. They are the misers, as David Waite stated a couple of weeks ago when they did away with Newcastle up at Marathon Stadium, and they're going to be hard to pick back.
Well, let's take a look at the half-time stats. Overall tackles made, West 121 to East 104. More work for West. Overall errors, too many handling errors by Western Suburbs. 17 mistakes all up to East's 9, and that's really been the difference. The penalties are 3-2 to the Magpies. The scrum 6-4 to East. Look at metres gained. East dominating 946 to 633. Time in possession again, totally dominated by East. They've had the ball for 10 more minutes out of 40, and no wonder they're winning by 16 points to 0. Craig Salvatore gets play underway for the second half. East full of confidence, having dominated the first half. And I'm sure in the East dressing room, Johnny Pitt, Mark Murray would have been saying, just keep the same thing coming.
Yeah, pretty composed, Warren, but they're looking for a bit of extra effort from everybody to maintain this lead. In the West room, I guess they'll be looking to get on the scoreboard quite early in this half to give themselves an opportunity. But East fairly composed with good control, and they want that to continue.
Already Western Suburbs have turned the ball over.
Not the start that the Magpies wanted at all. They've got a very compressed defence on this side of the field. Gary Freeman decides to go himself with the kick ahead. There's no fullback. Racing back is Ryan, and he wins the race. The replacement forward back there just in time as Freeman, early in the tackle count, realised Georgalis wasn't back there. He's always thinking, Gary Freeman, and he's forced to drop out.
And had he had Rod Silver or someone with a bit of speed following instead of Jason Lowry really was heading the chase for Eastern Suburbs.
Thinking footballer, the Kiwi international, Gary Freeman. Silver hands it to Salvatore, who winds up to top pace. Taken by Jason Liddon. The West crowd a little hushed, but I'm sure they'll be up and cheering if the Magpies can just show some of the spark they showed earlier in the first half, which eventually came to nothing.
John, that's a telling statistic for any coach. 25 minutes to 15 minutes time in possession.
Yeah, it's very hard to combat that, Arthur. And then they're playing against the Eastern Suburbs side. It's got very, very good control. Every set of 6 they use up. Here's another 6 tackle play. Beecraft going, Dwyer going for a kick and getting a restart. More pressure for Western Suburbs.
Very well taken by Jason Taylor. That was a good kick by O'Dwyer, thumping it low and hard and then kicking up off the turf close to the post, and Taylor did very well to hang on to that.
There were some receivers flying through, Jason Taylor in particular.
Good effort by O'Dwyer. Normally a left footer, just showed he can kick both feet.
Salvatore back on the halfway line again. The Wests are going to have to weather repeated sets of 6 here. They've already survived 2. Freeman. 2 dropouts. East coming back at them yet again. Lowry. He was looking to link up with Beecraft on the outside. Beecraft just arriving a fraction late. Tassel. Just the start East wanted to the second half. Gaffey. Brendan Hall sights an opening. Spins away from Gillespie into the arms of Britt. It's the 5th tackle. Freeman. Chance out wide. No, Murray kicks ahead, and Georgalis dives forward, and this time West will have possession. They won't have to drop out for the 3rd time. O'Day finds an opening. He's just a little slow to set their defence. Darren Willis.
That's good running by the outside backs of Western Suburbs. They try to get on a roll, and Langmack, the man, trying to take them back up the middle.
Mark Bell in amongst them as well. And he's drawn the penalty, tried for the quick play. The ball was held down a fraction too long by Dennis Beecraft. 4-2 the penalties to the Magpies. Beecroft just holding onto his jersey a little bit long and then getting caught in behind to play the ball. The West take play into the east half. And Darren Britt with his 10th hit up. Taylor. Carney was the dummy runner, the decoy. It went to Liddon. But the defence read it well. Salvatore right in the road. The switch of play. Back it comes from Gillespie. Taylor. Ryan straightens it up. The defence was up on his back line. Langmack. And they've used up 5 tackles. 25 metres out. Taylor. Bombs away at Rod Silver. The chase is coming from Taylor himself and Darren Britt. And they force the goal line dropout. So West return the tactics of Eastern Suburbs with equal success.
Yeah, this is an ideally placed bomb just before the goal line, and of course the chase is arriving at the same time. Here it is, up she goes. And here come the chasers. Jason Taylor leading the charge, and just as he takes the ball, Rod Silver, he's wham bang over the back of the in-goal area by Darren Britt.
East drop out down to Matt Ryan, who was the fresh replacement for Justin Dooley midway through the first half.
He's certainly played well since he's come on, Matt Ryan.
Georgalis, 30 metres out. Important stage of the game here for West. They need to get back in it. They need to get some points on the board. Langmack throws it out and nobody's awake. All the West players are looking at each other, setting up the next play. Now Taylor has a go.
They're just showing if he uses his feet, very dangerous to the line.
The game has been stopped. Dennis Beecroft, not the best at the moment.
Referee McCallum concerned as the trainer was calling for help.
So he'll be replaced. Warren Tony Casado is the replacement.
And there was Beecroft. He went in low on that tackle on Matt Ryan and looks like he may have caught a knee. And Beecroft helped from the field. Play goes on in the rugby league. Britt, nice ball to Langmack. It's knocked down. It could have come off on East's hand.
And they've knocked on again.
I think East have come up with it.
Yes, certainly have.
Well, Ricketson didn't give up the chase. He would have conceded 6 tackles if he didn't regain that ball.
That's a good run by Tony Casado.
And now Ricketson has to go. He's full of
easy yard from the dummy half area.
On the halfway.
It's a bad play the ball by Luke.
No, Dwyer unable to handle it. It wouldn't surprise if both teams did make some mistakes. The heat and the humidity must be very draining.
Well, there was nothing wrong with that play the ball. The penalty should have gone to Eastern Suburbs. There was interference in the play the ball.
Liddon pops it up for Hill. Taken by Silver. Still on the halfway line. Langmack. Hill. Casado in for the tackle. Casado a fresh reserve. Taylor. Britt. And the ball, was it stripped? What is the decision? It's against West for obstructing an East player in the chase for the loose ball.
Well, this is what's happened. This is what the ruling is.
Let's see whether the ball was stripped in the first place as Darren Britt took them on. Gary Freeman. Hard to tell. There was a ripping motion by Freeman, but we couldn't actually see contact with the ball. And then play continued from that point in the chase. The referee called a West player for holding on to an East player, holding him back. Salvatore. Straight and hard. 10 metres inside West half. Tassel. Of course, East with a few injuries to the forwards. They're without Bruce Sinclair and Wayne Singh out for quite a few weeks. And also Wayne Marshall. So with Steve Hansen, Jason Tassel and Craig O'Dwyer in the pack, it performed solidly. Freeman looks wide. He finds Hall. Mark Bell stayed out on his wing. Murray. Casado. Only 11 metres out. Last tackle now for the Roosters. Freeman keeps it in tight. How many times have we seen kicks rebound off the opposition players? Wests have held onto it this time through Liddon. Taylor sees a chance out wide with Georgialis on it. Goes to Darren Willis. He's very fast. Tony Casato is the only man close. Rod Silver coming from the far side. Darren Willis, can he go all the way? Oh, great tackle. He slides over the line. Was it a double movement or not? I don't think it is. The momentum sliding carried him just to the line, and he placed the ball over. What a great chase it was from Rod Silver, but an even better run from Darren Willis from back near his own 20 or 30 metre line. He's gone 70 metres, and that is a tremendous run by Willis. And Western Suburbs score their first points. East leads 16-4, and it all started back in the west quarter line after they regained possession here. Langmack went into dummy half. Taylor called for the ball, and as it came out, Georgialis fed it on. Darren Willis, the in and away, got past Ricketson. He left Orford behind. Casato was the closest. Rod Silver came from the far side of the field, and a great dive here. Now, was it continuous motion? Yes. Fair try to the Magpies.
First of all, tremendous effort by Jason Liddon. He came up with the loose ball, but tremendous work by Willis there as he stands up Luke Ricketson there. Tremendous try this. Ricketson's only made one mistake, and that was the one there today in that incident. And tremendous try. Just too much speed for Rod Silver, who gave a great chase.
Darren Willis, who played the most games for the club last year, 22. And Taylor from the sideline gives it a chance. It's a great-looking kick. It's there. So the Magpies back in the hunt. They're down by 10 points. East leading 16 points to 6. 30 minutes to go. John?
Well, there's the replay. Jason Taylor giving it out to Georgialis, and that was a good in and away because Ricketson's been as safe as a bank in defence all day, and Willis has got the pace. Rod Silver, terrific chase again from the far side of the field, just pulls him up short, and Willis does the right thing. He kept that elbow up. I think he did. And there it is over the line for a try. Deserved one on that, but he's just trying to put a little more pressure on West.
Langmack. He's got no support. He really had to hunt back to find anyone who was even likely to take a pass. Britt does well. Gillespie. Willis given a chance. Can he get through again? This time Ricketson and Orford sandwiching. Darren Britt with 22 tackles and 14 hit-ups has worked hard for West. Taylor, a wobbly kick. Appleby finds it going over his head. Didn't reach up and get a fingertip to it. Didn't concede the scrum feed. But Jason Taylor must be wondering what he can do, what they can do to turn this game around. It's getting away from them.
Power looked for the option. He was thinking about just quick hands, but opted for the safer one, which was to kick to the line and pick up an easy 30 metres. But that ball was a pretty ordinary looking kick.
East leading 16 points to 6. 12 minutes to go. Appleby, he is strong, pushes away from Georgialis, but he comes again. Now Casato. Last season, Western Suburbs finished 5th. East were a point behind, finished 6th, just missing the 5.
I think Appleby's shown he's very good in the tough areas. No easy task, just taking it up against the brick wall. He does it very well.
We expected a tough, tight game between these two sides, and they certainly haven't provided any real adventure or flashy play. But East, with 3 tries in the first half, have always been in command. Up it goes from O'Dwyer. And the chasers are there. Great play by Murray as he flicks it straight out to Ricketson. On it goes to Orford, but O'Day will fall on it. Well, that was good football by East. Again, the bomb, but then the very quick hands by Scott Murray. Taylor. A goose step to get away from one tackle. There just don't seem to be any attacking weapons out there, Arthur.
No, at the moment they're short on answers, but you have to give a lot of credit to the Eastern Suburbs defence. Anything that the Western Suburbs have thrown at them has been answered by Eastern Suburbs. So I'm sure that Mark Murray would be pleased with this defensive effort, John.
Very, very pleased, Arthur. I mean, 6 points so far. 16-0 at half-time was pretty handy.
Taylor goes high this time. They're testing out Appleby. Georgialis goes through. Appleby survives the test, passes the test, and brings it back. Diving tackle from Dooley, and Ryan swings him to ground. Prothero. Well, East have played a much steadier game of football than West's. A more mistake-free game. The defence has been solid, whereas West have fallen into error, and I think that has knocked the confidence out of their attack. They haven't been prepared to try much, and maybe too the heat getting to both teams, which has caused some of those errors.
I think the telling thing, as you said, has been the heat. We see a play with Gaffey going very wide back inside to Silver.
Murray. Salvatore. Intercepted by Bell. Shut the gate. He scored 16 tries last season. Giving chase is Jeff Orford, but Mark Bell goes all the way. He did it so many times for Canberra. He scored 16 last year, and he intercepts on his own 20-metre line and runs 80 to the other end of the field. And with 10 minutes to go, if this goal can be landed, well, West can snatch a draw. They still lead by 16 points to 10. But the pass from East, when they were doing it casually, really, Salvatore floats it out. He was looking for Gaffey, but it was shut the gate once Bell took it. If there's one thing he can do, it's sprint the length. Not so much quick out of the blocks, but he really does go the length, and very few players can haul him back in.
I know we've said it before, rugby league certainly is a cruel game. Eastern Suburbs throwing the ball around here with Gaiabana, but just throwing the ball around, offloading Gaffey back inside. But Rod Silver coming through there. And the ball eventually goes back to Salvatore, who has had an outstanding game for Salvo, but the ball plucked out of the air by Mark Bell and becomes a foot race. No one at home for Eastern Suburbs. This will make it 10-16.
Right in front, and Taylor makes no mistake. So the gap closes and the game is still alive. East lead by 16 points to 12, and we're set for an exciting last 8 minutes. That might put some pep in West's step.
Well, it's me to change of passes. This was all right because Gaffey came in as a second man there. Put the ball inside, but this is when no one really went forward. Scott Murray looking around for support. Salvo decided to take it forward, which was the right option, but he found the wrong man in Bell.
The fine sprinter Bell. He was the leading try scorer for Canberra in 1991, scoring 13 tries, and then leading the way for West last season with 16.
I mean, West were probably going to put the cue in the rack until that, and that's given them fresh hope.
Well, East led by 16 points to 0. And after the first 3 games of the season, I guess it's Balmain who have shown that leading early isn't always the security of winning a game, and East won't want to relax.
This could happen in a football match. And Carney back on the field.
And great passing, but the defence of East was good and just had to be in that situation. Ricketson came in, made the tackle on Georgalis. West had the overlap. Taylor steps well. Britt puts it down. Bad error by Darren Britt. Well, that'll have a big black mark alongside it in Warren Ryan's book of statistics. Darren Britt, who has worked hard, putting it on the ground. Now Gary Freeman. He'll need to control the play, settle East down. Ricketson, 19 metres out. Prothero goes straight through. Prothero for the line. Oh, he scores the easiest of tries. Well, easy in the sense that he shouldn't have been allowed to get through, but he powered through the front line. Great work by Mark Prothero. Solo effort. Hit the line, burst through it, took on the fullback, carried him over the line, and East back out to a safety margin now. Look at this, who missed the tackle? Well, there were a couple of them there, and Prothero comes all the way through to Georgalis, but couldn't stop him at that point. The damage was done up front.
And once again, this is the result of a turnover in possession. Western Suburbs coughed up possession. You see Jason Elson is one of the men there, and I think Justin Dooley.
Justin Dooley, yep.
Was one of the men. This will put the issue beyond doubt.
A kick to be taken right in front. East quickly respond and go to the lead of 20 points to 12. They're back out to an 8-point margin. The clock ticks down to the 6-minute mark. And with the kick to come, Mark Prothero's first try and first grade of the season. But what a way to respond. And, well, for the 3rd time in the match, West pay the penalty for a dropped ball. Darren Britt put it down that time. East score a couple of tackles later. The same thing happened in the first half. In the first 2 tries, a forward pass, then a drop ball gave East the chance inside the West quarter. And the third try maybe had a question mark over it as to whether the ball did come forward off Gary Freeman, but the try was scored. Brendan Hall, and he's had a good day with the boot. Right from the outset, when he hit the one from the sideline, he's had a pretty fair day, and East lead 22-12.
Mark Prothero's a replacement at lock. He just does what he does best here. Ran between 2 defenders with Dooley from second marker and the hooker Jason Elchin, and that's wrapped it up for Eastern Suburbs.
And a fierce look of victory on the face of Mark Prothero too. The Western Suburbs have made 24 handling errors, and a lot of them have been unforced handling errors. A few you'd have to give credit to the defence. They've hit hard, but too often West have simply dropped the ball. Nothing more than that. Casado.
John, I've been very impressed with Tony Casado. He seems to make the transition to the forward.
Oh, he's intelligent footballer, Arthur. Very good timing, good awareness. He's got those skills with his hands.
Been impressed with your hooker too, John. He's had quite a very good game.
He only needed a chance, Arthur. Get a good game together.
And up it goes. Georgialis loses it forward. Freeman's there. It's 6 more tackles. Dived on by Ryan, so Gary Freeman didn't need to throw that last pass. Freeman, one of the players who you would usually expect to be so quick thinking that he would have adjusted to the extra 6.
Another guy who's had a very good game has been Jason Tassel, John. He put a lot of pressure on Georgialis.
Well, he's been one of the best tacklers of the day. And I just see Georgialis there. He's had a tough day, Georgie. Probably had to field about 10 or 12 kicks.
As Taylor fires it out to Bell. Bell is clear, gets it to Terry Hill now. Can he get away from Freeman? Yes. Georgialis kicks over the top of Silva. Here's a race, fullback versus fullback. Silva can't hang on to it. Casado is back. There's a penalty gone to West, and it's for offside play. It came off the East player and then off Silva, and then the other East player coming back was in front of him, Casado. Here it is with Georgialis putting the kick through. Silva couldn't hang on to it, and Casado coming from in front of him on the field of play, but whether or not he actually got behind him before he picked it up is debatable.
It's a tremendous play there by O'Dwyer. There's been a bit of a scrambles. Langmack offload to what appeared to be a good ball, and O'Dwyer just going in there killed the pill.
This is the original penalty.
It's O'Dwyer just going in. The scrum will go down.
And Arthur, with just a couple of minutes remaining in the match, I know that you wanted to pay tribute to the great warrior of Norths and St George, Billy Wilson, who passed away during the week.
Yes, Billy passed away during the week, and we'd like to send out a condolences to Norma and the family. Certainly a great man, Billy Wilson. He will be sadly missed by football supporters and people in general.
You played against him when he was 37.
I had the privilege of playing against Billy, and it was a nice how do you do, welcome to Sydney football.
Salvatore gets it away to Walford. He takes on Willis. Can't get past him. The last time Wests won a premiership was in 1952, and before the game I was asked by Dev Dines, one of the members of the 52 premiers from West, to send a cheerio to Ken and Neil Johnson up at Umina, both Magpie supporters, and Ken hasn't been well lately, but I'm sure they're watching. They aren't going to get the result that most Magpie supporters would have been looking for today. And now McCallum is going to call out.
And the penalty going against Western Suburbs, taking out Jason Taylor. Jason Tassel, rather, sorry.
You're right the first time. There's a lot of Jasons. Craig Salvatore is going to be arrested, and it looks as if Jason Lowry will go onto the field. Oh no, Salvatore's staying there. Going to see the game out.
I think he's had a look at the clock. There's a minute to go. And we've got Brendan Hall. I don't know whether he can kick this far. John, you haven't been teaching him to kick, have you?
No, he's been working hard on his kicking game.
I'm just saying.
He's improved a lot. I mean, he's going to chew the clock up.
Mate, you wouldn't kick anything that was outside the 22.
Well, John, what do you think of this effort? Satisfactory, room for improvement?
Well, I thought the first half was a tremendous effort. The game's probably dropped back a few cogs in the second half. It's a satisfactory performance to get the 2 points, I guess.
It's always satisfactory if you win.
Never becomes boring, Warren.
No, not at all. Brendan Hall, 39 metres out. Hits it pretty well. Has it got the legs? It hasn't got the distance or the legs. Steve Georgalis is going to run it back. Will he take them on? He does. Straight into Appleby. And they take him to ground to end the game. Certainly not the most inspiring game of football that we will see all season, but you've got to make allowance for the conditions. Very difficult for the players out there today to concentrate when you're exhausted in the heat. And it was a pretty tough hitting game too. There was certainly some big defence went in at various stages of that match. The players shake hands in the time-honoured tradition. Eastern Suburbs, the victors, by 22 points to 12. And we can go down to Johnny Peard amongst his beloved Roosters.
Well, Craig, your first grade game, how'd you find it out there? Oh, it's a lot quicker than the lower grades, which you'd expect. Worked pretty hard, in front of a home crowd, but and we hung on well.
Yeah, the first half was very impressive, wasn't it? To go in 16-0.
Yeah, always going to be hard to catch going, 16 points behind, but it went well.
How'd the heat affect you? Was it humid?
First half was pretty warm. It cooled down. The sun's dropped off a bit now, but it took a bit out of us.
Yeah, well, you're a lad that spent a bit of time at Forbes. Any message for the folks up there?
Yeah, just I say good day to the blokes at Post Office Hotel in Forbes. Good day.
We'll be watching. Thanks a lot.
Craig O'Dwyer, and Craig O'Dwyer wins Beatson's best. And a fine performance by the young bloke.
Yeah, he was certainly busy around the dummy half area. He gave good service to his forwards and to Gary Freeman. He also produced a good kicking game. So Craig O'Dwyer, certainly a player to watch.
East, the winners, scoring 4 tries to 2. And Silver, Murray, Beecroft and Prothero scoring the tries. Hall 3 from 5. For West, Willis and Bell, the try scorers. Taylor 2 from 2.